All right, there's exactly 300 and I'm going to tell you exactly how much. I'm going to make you watch the whole video. There's 2 places in there that tell you exactly what it is, and there's one gentleman that guessed it, and I'm going to put my email address at the top in a pinned comment. You get a hold of me, tell me what hat and what shirt, what size you want, and I'll get that out to you. But you're going to have to watch the whole video, because there's 2 places in there where I reveal the exact amount of cable on there. Okay, I think I have this figured out. Okay, we're gonna go up here, see if I can figure out how to get this cable out. Oh, I know you're watching this and going, Jeff, you just had a video asking about this, and now you're doing it. Well, I don't know, it's just how it worked out. I couldn't wait. I can't wait. So I stuck this on Instagram, and somebody said they think there's a Allen screw in here. I don't know how an Allen screw holds a cable in, but hey, I'm game. Not going to come out either. Stuck in there, tighter than a bull's, tighter than tight, tight like tiger. Oh, she's gonna come loose. Hot dog. Boy, that is some dirty threads, dirty threads. Okay. That is a long screw. Try not to lose that, Jeff, if you can help it. Look at that, it's gonna come out. Are you kidding me? That's held in by a set screw? What the heck? What the heck? That's some crazy stuff, man. Never in my wildest dreams. I don't know, I assume having it go around and around the drum a gazillion times and the friction of it in these grooves is what really holds it on. Oh, so my next question is do I need to steam clean this and get all the junk off so that cable fits in there good? I don't have an answer to that either. Huh, that's interesting. Very interesting. Easy peasy Japanesey. Huh. Wow. Smarter every day. Go see if we're gonna get caught on anything. I need somebody here to watch. I just got a set of vice grips on it, run it up through the hitch, hope it holds it. The hook's something, I think hopefully it'll pull the vice grips off. Yeah, she's pulling hard. I'm gonna put it in 4-wheel drive. There we go. Okay, we better go have a look-see. That's a long cable, man. That's a long cable. Any guesses on what this is gonna cost me? I'm guessing I'll have 5 or 6 bills in it, depending on the length. Holy moly. I'm only about halfway there. Holy moly. Okay, I'm not giving any guesses on how long this is. You have to do that. It's a lot of cable, Hogue. I don't know when I'm going to be out of the shop. You think it's out yet? I don't know, I can't see it. Let's go check. This is a 1/4 mile of cable. There's enough cable on there. You could let that thing down with the boom all the way up and the crowd clear out. You could go down a 50-foot hole. Maybe I should chop this up. And if anybody wants a souvenir from the galleon, I should sell 1-foot chunks to you. $1 a chunk. Yeah. Actually, I should just mail it to you for free. Give it to you. Okay. I can see the end of it. I can see clearly the end of it now. Better move this chair. Piece of foam. All right. Holy moly. How in the world am I going to measure this snake? Okay, it's clear in the shop. Clear out here. I got a pretty good guess how much is there. I think you do too. Okay, that has to be out of the shop. Let's unhook. Go have a look-see. Okay, Elvis has left the building. All right, so we got one loopy there. Now we're straight. Not really. All right, I gotta go dig through Matt's truck and see what he's got in the line of tape measures. Bucket of oil. Probably an empty bucket. Man. Oh, cool. One of my pry bars. Matt, I'm gonna kick your butt. Okay, I found a pry bar in 1 5/8. That's a Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's out of the service truck or whether that's his. Uh-oh. That shut? No. His tailgate came off. Great. Sorry about that, Matt. I'll let you fix it. For leaving these out there. So there might be one, I guess, in the tag trailer. That's covered in snow. Okay, so looks like the tape measure has been broke. So we're gonna have to figure out how much is missing. Huh. That's great. Maybe I should just go buy a tape measure. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. That one's junk. I'm gonna go see if I can buy a 200 footer. We can always use it. I went out and Rockford Ranch bought me a 200 foot long Stanley. $23 was all. $23. Not gonna complain about that. Hope the Wi-Fi or wireless on this microphone keeps us hooked up. Don't get it off, Jeff. You want to be accurate. This could cost somebody a hat and a shirt. Eh? All right. Okay, we're hooked up. Holy moly, this is long. It's longer than a whale rope now. So overall, it'd be 316 feet, 6 inches. Well, I know these DJI mics work out to 316 feet away. If the camera's still going. Can we get it in a loop? Some kind of a loop, decent loop. That wasn't a very good job. Oh, geez, I can't do that. No way. No way. Balls. Yeah, I can't even pull that son of a buck. That's just too much cable. You know what? Oh. I'm gonna have to have help for this operation. I gotta go clean out Granny's driveway. Lives next door. So let's go start the hooty hoot. Putty putt. Thrusters engaged. Prop all the way in. Choke. Here we go. Phew, I think the Johnny's sick. That should normally just pop off. Yeah, a little start, you bastard. Okay. Start, you bastard. There we go. Okay, that's how I rolled up my cable. I could not pull that by myself to coil it up at the shop, so I just rolled it on a drum. It's obviously not going to come off of there. Maybe when the snow melts it'll fall down. Not pretty, but it worked. So that's done. Sunshine went away. Looks like we got another storm coming. Alrighty, this is the cable. So they call this a 6-strand. There's 6 large strands around the outside, one in the middle. Don't know why they don't call it a 7. And then I had to get out a jeweler's eyepiece and count these little wires. So this is called a 6x19. So there's 6 major strands, 7 if you count the middle one, and then 19 small wires around the major to make up a major one. To run it up through that top hole, pull it back to the winch, and I had a guy tell me to take 2 2x4s, and what I'll do is down here at the bottom I'll clamp 2 2x4s, have the cable between the 2x, and let it go up against that block, and then have somebody wind the winch in, or if it'll just stay there, somebody will have to run the winch while I get up there and make sure it goes around all the grooves in the drums, starts to come back. I'll wind it all on till I've got enough hanging down that I can go through the shiv block, up around, and attach the cable. So that's the only way you're going to be able to do that. But if it's all wound up, I'm going to have to put it on something so that it comes off the spool how it's wound. Otherwise, if you take it off and let it, unwind like an extension cord, you're going to have a mess. I don't think you want that. So anyway, that's a 1/2 inch 6x19. All right, so Jeff the MIG welder has made a tool to reach up in there in the boom and pull the bird nests out. So I got a piece of square tubing and just welded this piece of flat bar on there. Want to let it cool down a little. Didn't want to start a fire up in there. So this is what starlings do. Pigeons made a mess on the back there. They went up the back boom, and holy cow, there's nothing like trying to clean out pigeon poop. So I got all the stuff out that was on top of the pulleys here, but it's back in there. I'm thinking probably what I should do is get me one of those owls or something and mount him up here on the top permanent, glue him. May have to cut that off. Seems we're going through. There we go. It's coming out. What a mess. Holy cow, that goes way back in there. Okay, I found the other grease fitting for that center shiv. If I can show it to you. So can you see it in there? Let me put this on right there. You see it? There's no way you can get a grease nozzle on that. No way. Unless you were to take a rotary file and grind that hole. It's supposed to have an extension on it, so it comes way up here. And then you could go straight through the hole and get on it. But the way it's set up, you're not getting on that. So I wanted to pump up my tires. And that's the hole. and the stem sticks straight up in there. Virtually impossible to get anything on. So I went to town. I bought this and I thought, well, yeah, I could get that in there. No, if it didn't have this part on it, it'd work. So I gave up on that. So I made this. It wouldn't go in there, so I had to heat it up and put a little bend in it. Well, then I didn't know how much pressure I had in it. So I screwed this one off of here and used that. And discovered I had 95 pounds in this right front tire. So those are 1424 20-ply tires. So in the front I have 80. In the back I think I have 75. Oh, so anyway, I got the bird crap cleaned out of my pulleys. And I've been doing a little reading in the book. I want to show you this, get your opinion on it. So if you remember originally, this one, the cable went around, and then there's the wedge up there. It hooked up there. So according to the book, I never did see this page before. I'm glad I found it. So this is called a 5-part line. So I could run it this way and move my wedge down here and have more lines in here. The way it is right now is just a 4-part line. It says remove rope from wedge socket A, which is here, and install in wedge socket B, which is up there. So basically you would unbolt that bolt with the spacers in it and put it down on the snatch block. So anyway, I got a hold of Cherry Picker Parts, their technical guy. Told him what I took off of it for cable, which was 316 feet 6 inches. So I said, could I go with a little less or do I need more? And told him what my setup was, and he said 300 would be fine. So I think that's what I'm gonna get, is 300 feet of cable. All right, so my glow plug showed up today. Got 6 of those. And then these are the deals to remove water from the hydraulic system. And this is from a company called Centerline Distribution LLC, Charlotte, North Carolina. Cinti. Found it on the internet. So there's a bigger one if you can see it. 7049 Foxworth Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's got some instructions in it. Tells you when you remove it out of the package not to leave it in the air for more than 15 minutes because it's gonna suck up moisture. So you get a 12-incher. I thought it was longer than that. 12-inch. Wow. That's 12-inch, huh? Holy moly. Anyway, it says it comes with a high-strength tether. So I haven't found the high-strength tether. There's one little zip tie in it. So unless the tether's inside, maybe that's it. Maybe that's this right here. Yeah, I don't know. You can see she's a little discolored. Just didn't get all the watery oil out. So I guess what I got to do here is figure out how I'm going to lower these down in there. I'm just going to put them all in. So how much did this cost me? I'd have to go back and look, but I think it was about $108 with shipping for all. Don't quote me on that. Maybe that was the glow plugs. I think it was. So here's some different instructions. 12-inch long up to 20 gallons. So I have 4 of them. So that's only 80 gallons. I bet money it's not going to take a lot of water out. Okay, so here's some. This one has some different instructions in it. So this stainless steel filter cage installation. So apparently you can put these in a stainless cage. Yeah, you wouldn't want to leave these in and run the crane and have them sloshing around. I wouldn't think. Remove absorber filter, sold separately from sealed Mylar bag. Place filter inside steel tube. So basically you're going to have to sample the oil to figure out what your parts per million of water is going to be. And based on that, when water exceeds 300 parts per million, heavy equipment use, high humidity, every 30 days, intermittent 120, storage annually. Okay, well, let's just open them all up, I guess. So like this, and then we'd have to tie this to here. And like I said, it's not like I'm a sailor or anything. So I'm going to tie a double whammy Superman 3rd grade kid shoelace knot in it. Oh, so I had some people bitching about my headlights. Said if I wasn't going to replace them, I needed to tear them off. So I did. Oh, and because you made me tear them off, I'm putting new ones on. And then I came back here to the taillights and I went, well, those have to go. So I took those off and got some new ones coming. Those are Dietz lights. Apparently those are some old lights, but I found some. I found them. Okay, off comes the rubbers, the protectors, and sausages ahoy. I don't think I'd want to run this with these in there because the suction port is down there and it's an open hole. Could suck that stuff in and gobble it up. All right, so now we'll wrap it around this voltage thing here. How's that? We just wrap it around there by the mean times. Anyways, you can see I need a lot more oil. But I want to see if this works. If this will clear up the oil at a reasonable cost, hey, time to go get another barrel and fill her up. And then we can be... Oh, I know one other thing I need to do. I need to order a hydroscopic breather so that as the tank breathes during outside air temperature changes, that breather will take up the moisture. And then basically what I'm going to end up doing is putting a whole nother barrel of oil in it. What do you recommend for LED lights? So since these are just like an old Caterpillar style light. Matter of fact, that's exactly what these are. They got the 2 metal bands that go around them. So where they mount like that, you're able to turn the bulb in there, turn the rubber, turn the bulb. So if it's, pointing a wide beam, if it's a floodlight, I assume it doesn't matter. So Cat stuff was always heavy duty. That's a 5/8 stud on the end of there. So that's a 5/8 hole in the cab. So I need to find something LED, something doesn't use a lot of power, because those old lights, they just don't really do anything. Even the halogen ones, they're nothing to brag about. So a nice LED would be cool. We'll have headlights and tail lights. Woohoo! Okay, I want to go through this anti-cavitation valve. This is my new one. It's actually a used one. It's got some pretty good rust pits there. So apparently water in the system on these is a big deal. But I think I know how to solve it. Anyway, so this valve goes in here like that, and this valve goes in against that and seats. And the mistake I made is this is a small spring that goes in there, and I should have noticed inside this valve there was a wear mark. And this spring, doesn't show it in here, is a very short one, large coils, and I mixed them up. So by putting that one in there, when I put the plug in and pushed the plug in with this housing, it scooted this valve about 1/4 of an inch out of the end of the housing, and there's a big hose that bolts here. And so I just put the clamps on it and sucked it in. Well, what it did is it coil bound this spring, nowhere for this to go, and this is quite thin. So what it did is it caved it in right here, and there's a circular groove around there, and it caved it inside that groove. So the only way I'm going to get it out is to go in there with a Dremel and cut through these and pull this part out, and then get something and cave this in and get the rest of it out and replace it. So this little teeny piece here, you can see a small mark where it's not corroded. Well, that goes in to the groove that's in there just a little teeny ways. And I put this all together and it works, but I won't know if that old one's gonna cause a problem in there until I put a heavy load on it, because the function of this anti-cavitation valve is when you have a heavy load and you're lowering it down, the pump motor can turn into a pump, and then your lowering rate can all of a sudden go down quicker, so you don't have a smooth continuous lower. And I'm not really sure what this one does, but I'm sure that has a part in it. So that's why the winch wouldn't go up, is the oil comes in through here. It couldn't move this spool, and therefore the oil couldn't pass through the motor. And I am gonna replace it, because the one that's crushed in there is cracked through here, and my concern is, let's say, this spool slamming back and forth on this could crack it again somewhere else, and then these pieces would go in there and get stuck, or possibly go through the motor or through the hydraulic system. So I need to change it out. So let's go up there and look at the valve. Alright, so this is the anti-cavitation valve, and right in here is where this sleeve goes in there, and then the spool goes back and forth in here. So I'm gonna have to take it off, take this back piece off, take the spool and the springs out, and then, like I say, figure out how to get that off and put it together. And so what happened is, this is sticking out, was sticking out about 1/4 of an inch, and when I put the hose against it and pushed it in, it bulged this into the groove that's cut in there. So the oil just flows through here and into that groove, but this was supposed to go in the land in that groove just a little ways. So I don't know if that's going to cause problems, but like I said, it's cracked, and I certainly don't want those pieces to go through the system. It was a dumb mistake, my fault. Okay, I want to test one of these glow plugs and see how hot it gets in 10 seconds. So let's put some spit all over it, some good old Jeff spit. And let's see what we're gonna do here. We're gonna have to, I think I'm gonna hook the hot to here, and then I'm gonna touch it on the ground. My spit's already come off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that, it got red hot in 4 seconds. 4 lousy seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. So I've never seen a glow plug get that hot that quick. So even 10 seconds seems excessive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna say 5 seconds is gonna be enough to do it. That's so you can imagine you hold that on for even 30 seconds, what that's gonna do. That's going to burn it up. I've never seen one get that hot. My 24 volt ones just don't get cherry red like that. They just don't. So that tells me that you cannot heat these very long, and that's kind of why I wanted to do that. I just wanted to see how quick that turned red. So I put some of this white anti-seize on here, and I get a lot on the threads, and then I go up and down this shaft because this will stick in there also. Anyway, I've already put the old glow plugs in once, had them in there for some reason. I think I put them back in to be able to start it and unwind that cable, I think is what I did. And I coated those with anti-seize too, so that I could get some down in the threads and down in the bore before I put these new ones in. So there we go, I got them all in. My old ones, takes a 3/8 socket to get them off. The new ones, American threads, of course, so they wouldn't go in, but guess what? They put a 10mm head on them. So they're metric on the hex and American on the threads. What I want to do next is see if I can get the water out of it, see if I can get that plug out of the block, or I mean out of the back of the head back there. And then I'll take this off and put a plug in this T right here, and then I'll run the hose clear back to the back of the head. I have not pulled this off yet. Let's open it up and look at the oil. I see no difference. Do you? I see absolutely no difference. So let's pull these up out of here, see what they look like. Do they have water in them? I have no idea. Maybe they've already plugged with water. I don't know. I think I'll just leave them in there for a while. If I do start it up, test the glow plugs and start it up, I'm certainly going to pull them out and put them on this second shelf because I do not want them to get sucked in the suction line. So I got the antifreeze drained, and I took this barb out of here, and if you look inside, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the top of the thermostat in there. So the water is going straight up into the radiator and around, so that's just not going to work. So I got a plug to fit that, and then I'm trying to get this block plug out, and I've tried heating it with the MAP gas torch and using my 1/2-inch Milwaukee impact, and it won't touch it. So I've got the service truck backed up to the door. I'm going to bring the torch in and heat that plug up red hot and then let it cool down completely. Okay, that's hot. I don't dare go any hotter. About all I can do is just let it cool. I'm not sure that it's going to come out hot. But that ain't going to... I won't put an impact in it when it's hot. Just a regular ratchet. Maybe. Are you kidding? It's coming out. Unbelievable. Woohoo! That's just amazing there. That wasn't even difficult. Holy cow. That is cool. Jeff wins by accident. Oh yeah. Look at that. She came out. And the threads look good. That's just awesome. That makes my day. Okay, so I got my, that's a 3/4 thread in the head, so I had to buy a bushing. And then this is a 45 that I took out of the other end. I'm hoping this is gonna work. I can get it oriented to where I can get hooked up to it. Okay, I need to, yeah, that's gonna clear all right, I think. Gotta hang my wiring harness up here. Maybe I'll do it on this side. Yeah, I think it'd work better there. So I gotta get that back on. Lesser men would have given up on this crane a long time ago. But I am not a lesser man. And I am not going to give up on it. I'm just going to make it better and more better and more better. You can't stop Jeff. Jeff is a freight train. Okay. There we go. Paid $3,500 for the crane. I got $1,300 in oil in it so far. Got a little more than that. I figured about 70 gallons I've put in it. So I need what, 40 more? And $1,200 in cylinder repair. And then probably 500 in seals. Cable's gonna run me. Well, I'm gonna make you guess on that. How about we give another shirt and a hat away for the closest guess on what the cable ends up costing me. Oh, and those control cables were, and a bunch of other parts were $1,300. So what's that add up to? I don't know. So for under 10 grand, I've got a crane. Okay, so that'll work, but I don't really like how that's such a long loop on that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I need to move that block heater. I need to get some wrenches and get this off and turn it around. Alright, this is the way I mounted it. I went looking online and I saw somebody that mounted theirs like that, horizontally. I can bend it up a wee little bit. That way the air is going to come out. And she's all uphill, go glurg, 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 I would hope. Anyway, I think that's a way better setup than it was up there. Way better. What do you say? What do you think? Don't tell me I'm wrong. Please don't. I don't want to change it again. Is do something with this cord. I'll have to zip tie it somewhere. So I think I'll zip tie it through that hole right there. Like that. I'll get one of these high temperature 257 degree zip ties that was left over from my hydraulic tank socks I put in there. How will that work? Like that, and then this is hanging out here. Can't really catch on anything. I'm going to take this out. Probably shouldn't have that in the... I have to cut the end off or something. Don't want that in the way of that. Okay. I think Jeff won today. I think I won. So I gotta... just gotta get some tape on this plug and put that in. All right. So, are we done? Clean up some tools and see how much antifreeze I got. So, do you see two different colors? I don't know if you see it through the camera, but this fluid laying on top is a lot whiter. And since I've put those deals in the tank, that down there has turned darker. What does that mean? Like anybody could even know. Do you think I'll ever get the water out? Well, it's gonna be interesting to see what these things do. You know what? Huh. I sure hope they work. Sure hope they do something here. If I don't get cable and stuff, I guess I can keep messing with other things. It's just absolutely driving me crazy not to work on it, not to be able to do something. So I guess my next mission is headlights. I gotta figure out headlights. It's got a switch in there. Don't know if it sends power to those wires or not. I pulled the wires out. But we gonna get headlights and we gonna get taillights. Oh, she's gonna be a honey. So anyway, it's getting late 30 out there. It's about sunset. It's been really cold all day. The snow has not melted. What is it tonight? We set the clocks ahead, back to daylight savings time. So my plan was to make you a video, finish it tonight and have it out to you Sunday morning. So this is all I have to show you. But anyway, I'm waiting for a window and some cable. And when the taillights come, I'll put them in. I find some headlights, we'll put those on. So anyway, if you want another hat and a shirt, Why don't you take a stab at how much that cable is going to cost me? I'm going to put 300 feet of 1/2 inch 6x19 cable on it. One that comes closest to the actual price, I'll send you a hat and a shirt. Even Mr. Griff hates this stuff. He slips and slides all over. Hey, so let's do that. Let's have another contest. See who can come the closest to the price of that cable. And then next week we're gonna make another video and get it all wound on, and I'll tell you who's the winner. It is cold. Miserably cold. Anyway, you guys have an awesome weekend. I'll see you next week.